How are the repairs proceeding?
Damage caused by the rebel attack is almost repaired.
Excellent. I want this installation fully operational within the hour.
Yes, sir. We will be prepared for any further rebel attack.
Is on the verge of success. Soon, peace and order will be restored throughout the galaxy. Even now, our capable forces, led by Darth Vader, are striking back at the rebel insurgents.
The rebels are unprepared for our attack. Signal Vice Admiral Thrawn to launch his air squadrons immediately.
This rebel stronghold has no hope of escape. Commence the attack.
Yes, sir.
Serve the Emperor above all others.
Welcome, Admiral Harkov. We have a matter to discuss. What is the location of your fleet? Now you shall pay for your treachery.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Audio check, hopefully everything's working fine. I did a quick test stream beforehand, so should be good. Yeah, instant stream. I like to have a moment to just prepare myself. I get a little anxious in anticipation of doing a live stream, but once I'm actually in the groove of doing it, totally fine. But there's always that little, I guess you could call performance anxiety. I don't know. But yeah, I just need a moment to collect myself, but also let people know. All good. And good afternoon. Hello, rebalancing, George Lucas Special Edition tempering. Not sure how to take that. To be fair, I haven't even finished Reimagined yet, so but I'm hoping not to go Jar Jar Binks on it, if you know what I'm saying. So, oh, I do not want to open Photoshop. That is the wrong button. Right, so we are continuing to look at the rebalancing of the game. I haven't done too much since the last stream because I was waiting for certain things to be hopefully fixed, or other little things I could do. So I've been able to do that now. I have given version 0.0.2 to my testers yesterday for updates to the TIE Fighter, Interceptor and Bomber. Feedback so far seems to indicate that both the TIE Fighter and the Interceptor are in a pretty good place now. They've got clearly defined roles, and yeah, still a couple of suggestions here and there, but just waiting for a bit more feedback. The Bomber, I don't know yet. It sounds a bit ambiguous. I haven't had the full feedback yet on that one, so we'll see. But yeah. Welcome, RB Scald. Whereas I go Disney. No. I'm sticking to Legends. The only thing I pick out of Disney canon is ship or station designs I like that I think can just retroactively work within canon of the Legends canon, that is. So no, I'm sticking to the box that TIE Fighter basically laid out. I'm just maybe cherry picking things here and there. But at the end of the day, this is just a fan fiction rewrite of an original story. So, let's have a look, shall we? What changes I made. So, let's make this a bit bigger. So for the TIE Fighter, I've reduced its rate of fire, increased its damage just a little bit, but this is to offset a new change I've managed to be able to do now. When I first tried to do this, and this is speed damage, so when you fly your ship at speed and you fire your weapon, the game applies an additional damage amount based on the speed of your ship, because there's the speed is applied to your weapon as well. So for example, if you're going at 100 meters a second or 100 mglt like a TIE Fighter or an X-Wing, that applies, if I remember right, about 2.2 hit points of extra damage to your weapon, which the max high power one in the vanilla is 4 hit points, so you can get 6.2 hit points. If that makes sense. So basically like almost 50% increase in firepower there. And it's relative to how fast you're going. So the faster the ship, the more damage you can apply. So yes, I wanted to play with that a little bit, but it didn't work initially because there was a little bug with it. So that now works. So the TIE Fighter's ability to apply damage at speed has been reduced by 50%, so less overall firepower, but I increased its high-powered damage just a bit, just to offset a little bit. It can no longer fire indefinitely. It's still a little Gatling, but it will run out. And this is just me adding the, if I shown last time, we fixed got control of every time a missile hits you, your ship spins like this. I'm now adding this to each ship, and we'll basically vary it depending on the weight of the ship. So the heavier, bigger fighters will just get a knock, and then the lighter fighters will get a bit of a spin. I mean, for the TIE Fighter, if a missile hits you, you're dead anyway, so what does it matter? Unless you have a shield, obviously, but most of the time you're not going to have that. So, that's the TIE Fighter. TIE Interceptor. This probably got the most criticism for my first attempt at this. They just didn't feel right. So I took that back, and again, started to play with things. So in this case now, I'm trying to reward speed with firepower. Now that I have the ability to control how much damage is applied by your speed, I have applied this to the interceptor. So here, increase speed damage high power by 100%. So it does double what it would normally have otherwise done. I have also increased the base speed of the interceptor by about 17%. And I have reduced the amount of engine power you get based on your recharge level. This is the other thing that wasn't working because of a bug. Now it is. The default level is every time you increase or decrease your laser charge, it's a 12% step. Default for the most fighters, with 1 or 2 exceptions. So I've reduced this to 4. So you'll get very little speed increase and speed decrease depending what you're doing. So your base top speed is a fair bit quicker, but your maximum top speed is only a tiny bit quicker. Increase the acceleration speed of the interceptor and decrease the deceleration speed of the interceptor. So you can, it's basically a muscle car. High firepower, but it doesn't brake too well, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a car guy, but maybe you understand the metaphor I'm trying to make here. Reduced high power, the rate of fire. So I reduced the rate of fire a little bit for the high power and massively increased it for low power to... In its low power mode, it can fire more rapidly, so it can do a bit more sort of harassment, torpedo interception, perhaps. Increased its overall damage as well. And an impact spin of 80% decreased laser recharge rate. So basically, the interceptor is fast, punches you in the face, and can do it for maybe to get 2 or 3 kills before it runs out of that power, and you have to either wait for the recharge or break off and come out. That is the idea of the interceptor now. So, TIE Bomber. Basically, mostly buffs. just little minor buffs. So I basically buffed its pitch and yaw a little bit. Increased the speed damage modifier again on both high and low power. So 100% for high and 50 for low. But that doesn't actually mean it gets that much better power compared to the Interceptor, because the Interceptor is, well, not twice as fast, but a lot faster. So it has a higher bonus from that. But the individual power of a bomber bolt is still the most powerful of these 3 ships so far. Again, a slight change in the engine speed percent. The TIE Bomber is one that actually has a 6% change per level by default. I've actually changed this to 12, so it actually goes a little bit faster. And it's if you redirect all power to engines, it's almost as fast as an X-Wing. Because it's a heavier ship, impact spin of value of 50%. A TIE Bomber might be able to survive a missile, but it won't spin so heavily when it does. Now this I am just testing. This is I have control of the total capacity a ship has in warheads, but I have the individual capacity of how many types of concussion missiles or advanced missiles and so forth. So by me increasing, for example, the ability to carry more missiles than it would otherwise, you could change the bomber into a bit more of a viable anti-fighter platform at the expense of not having any heavy firepower. This is actually one of the missions in Classic. Battle 3 Mission 4 or 5, Thrawn makes you fire a bomber because you have no other ships available, but he makes it a fighter platform, essentially. And the same with proton torpedoes. Leave that as default capacity, like that is just the default. And then advanced torpedoes, less capacity, a bit more overall damage maybe, I don't know. I'm just sort of playing with numbers here. The real problem with this is that, well, you can infinitely reload by just flying back into the hangar, assuming that's available in the mission. So I'm hoping we can fix that one day, so it's either limited or something else. But yeah, something I've just asked the guys to sort of play around with and see how it feels. And yeah, those are the changes in a rather ranting nutshell. So let's have a bit of a play and see what this feels like, shall we? I am actually going to turn my audio off here because it was really loud last time. I couldn't hear myself, so you'll get the lovely Stellaris soundtrack as I play TIE Fighter. Right. Now, hopefully this should work. Yes, rebalance fleet scenario, rebalance testing grounds. So just before I came on, I took a mission that is actually for Battle 10, which is just a missile boat training mission, and I've shoved it as a testing ground because the entire mission is designed about you flying about and engaging different types of ships, because it's the missile boat and it's overpowered as fuck. But it is a perfect way to test how different crafts will handle different types of enemies. I've buffed everyone's AI for the purposes of this test, so I have a challenge. Of course, we don't want this, so let's start with the TIE Fighter. I am not going to load anything other than the basics. Eee. Go back to the hangar, please. Thank you. Right, let's have a go, shall we? Right. So, this mission, you basically have a bunch of containers here. You shoot them, and it triggers a series of events. So, by inspecting, you can see this will spawn pirate fighters, imperial fighters, starships, rebel fighters. I think. Yeah, there's also a bonus one, but that only unlocks if you defeat all the other waves. So let's start with rebels. What? Destroy the container. Okay, destroy the container. Let's get out of the way of the explosion damage. I should have 20 lives, so right, I've got Z95 warping in. Warping? Hyperspace again. Right, let's see what kind of range we got. Still no green. Still no green. Still no... There we go. Got some green. Got something else coming in at me there. I'm not sure what that is. It's an X-Wing. Okay. Now, I haven't balanced the rebel fighters proper yet. I did start playing with the numbers, so these ships are more or less still behaving like vanilla. Got a B-Wing on me now. Yeah, I'm being overwhelmed. See, this mission is actually designed for the missile boat. Am I invulnerable? I might actually be invulnerable, because I should feel like I should be dead. Yes, I'm invulnerable. Okay, well, let's just roll with it. Yeah, as I said, this mission is for the missile boat, where you can just use overwhelming firepower here. See, it's still quite rapid fire, but the amount of effort it takes me to kill this one B-Wing. Let's try an X-Wing. A little bit easier. Recharge rates might need a little tweaking still, but it's... I'm generally happy with this. Ah, V-Wing. Lovely. The TIE Fighter is another one which gets a different speed percent change from its laser charge, so that's 18% speed buff, or speed reduction rather, depending if you're on plus nominal or not. So it can actually reach top speed as equivalent to the Interceptor. But yeah, there we go. Bit of TIE Fighter action. What am I using for controls? X52 Pro joystick and throttle that's like 12 years old at this point. And the game crashed. Lovely. Let's try that again. I'm really lazy, so I lost my control setup, like, I can't even remember when now. So I have not actually configured my buttons to what I used to have, and so I use the throttle and the buttons to fire and target, but otherwise I go straight back to the keyboard for other things, so I just can't be bothered. I know this game like the back of my hand. I can touch my keyboard and I know where everything goes has to go, so it's not a problem for me. We want the Interceptor, don't we? Let's see how well the Interceptor does now. Alright, for immersion's sake, I'll turn on the cockpit. What did I fight? Okay, I targeted the Imperials this time, so we're going to end up fighting my own changes. Except you're in a TIE fighter. Oh! Should actually turn on the recharge. I can't hit TIE fighter. There we go. Where'd he go? So, oh, ow. 1% hull. It would basically kind of kill each other at that point. Alright. See how tanky the bomber is now. Right, gunboat. This should be a good test. I'm actually going to help the cockpit because I really want to see what I'm doing here. Let's see how well the... Oh, I don't have enough recharge. Let's boost that up again. So watch the speed. If I slow down, it slows down pretty slowly, but if I punch forward, I can get to a top speed pretty quickly. I still am basically, with maximum energy to lasers, I am going faster than the base speed that you're currently enjoying. Right, let's go for the Assault Gunboat. Let's see how tanky. Nice. It's got a punch to it. And it feels fast. Yeah. I rarely fight missile boats, but I'm not worried. Because they can't use SLAM. AI has no programming for SLAM. I forgot that I keep forgetting how tanky the missile boat actually is. It has a really strong shield. There we go. TIE advance. This thing should be weak. This should die pretty easily if I can hit him. Shield's almost gone in one go. Yeah, 3 shots. TIE advance is dead. So think Battle 5 Mission 1. Where it's you and a single TIE interceptor versus a bunch of TIE advance. Whoa. Might be a little easier for you now. It might make a bit more sense why Marek can also survive that many TIE advance. Not only just skill, but the fact that the interceptor has a punch to it. Alright, I'm going to try hitting some rebels this time. Speed up. Interceptor has better range, so we'll try a new head-to-head. I think I'll edit this mission a bit to space out the intervals, so you have a chance to fight the ship you're trying to fight instead of getting completely overwhelmed, like I said. Second engage, much greater range, and he's dead already. So this is where an interceptor should shine. It can close the distance and just punch or be killed. Except I'm basically at the distance where they basically hyperspace it now, so... Y-wing shield's already gone. But remember the speed, the extra damage that comes from your speed, because if you're in a slowing down mode and just chasing, you've lost 25% of your firepower, maybe? 20%? Depends. Whereas if you head at them full speed, you're going to get a nice punch out of that. So I back off this B-wing for a bit. Boost my speed a little bit. That B-wing firing green lasers at me. Right. Charge. Now come about. Ah! Remember, the B-wing is the most tanky rebel fighter. It has like 150 odd hit points at 100% shields. Was it 160? A-wings should melt. Like that. This V-wing should also melt under the firepower. But because one thing I want to be is a sort of disadvantage that the interceptor can overshoot, because you might be too focused on trying to get all the power, or it can't decelerate in time, so you overshoot. Look at that. Dead. Ah! U-wing. Haven't used these in current Reimagined yet. It is being used in 1 or 2 missions in the future. This is an example of me picking out a Disney ship that I kind of liked and putting it into the game, but only as like appearing once or twice. So it's not just obnoxiously there all the time, it's just like, ah, yeah. Anyway, that is Interceptor. I'm going to quickly catch up on comments and hope this doesn't crash. Good. What have we got? Klingon Academy still on the mind. I still need to do the review, that's for sure. I've got notes down, but I haven't read it done it properly yet. So, yeah, the V19s are also not currently in the Reimagined that you can play, but they are in Battle 10. And yes, NA is correct. Battles 2 and 4 use some Clone War era ships. Battles 4? Do they use Clone War era ships? I don't remember. Yeah, I suppose there's Gazantes. You could argue they were from the Clone War era, but that's Imperial. Most of the Narwhal use stock X-Wing Alliance ships, and so do the Habine. Habine are using Planetary Defenders, I think, and then the Narwhal are using Skip Ray Blast Boats, and then Y-Wings and C-95s. I don't remember them using anything else. But Battle 2, yeah, absolutely. Thank you, the real Harry Seldon. Harry Seldon. Ah. Foundation. Thank you, Patchwork. Yes. One of the many things I'm trying to do here. Why won't... Okay, there we go. I don't want the missile boat. Go away. Right, let's go for the bomber. Advanced torpedoes could be 20. I haven't messed with the rockets yet. So we have 24 missiles. I don't want a beam weapon either. Or 16 advanced missiles. I think they're basically just straight up twice as more damaging. So you would have more overall firepower, but it would be a straight up 2 times more firepower. So you would have less missiles. So 6 less missiles. I don't know. This is, you see what I'm trying to do here. So make it so you do have a bit more firepower, but not, you know, less of them overall for that firepower. I don't know. I'm just talking bullshit. Torpedoes 12, yes, that's standard. It's advanced torpedoes, oh, yeah. And then 20. That's wrong. that's not right at all. Actually, let's have a look at the NI file. Capacities percent advanced torpedoes 75. Huh? Am I reading this right? Where is it? Nope. Where is it? There we go. Yeah, advanced torpedoes, warhead type, advanced torpedoes, index 6. Yeah, warhead 6, capacity percent. That should, in theory, be 25% less. It seems to have gone the other way. Capacity... Oh! Okay. That's why. See that? Yeah. I did that 6 twice, so it's reading that first and then ignoring that. That should actually be... My notes are wrong as well. That should be that. Sometimes, so... Is this correct, though, with readme? Advanced missiles should be 5, yes. Proton torpedoes 4, missiles 3. Okay, so that and that. That's how it should be. Right. So next time I reload, that will actually... let's do that quickly. Have to exit the game for this to work. I have toyed with the idea of enabling at least the dual launcher system for the TIE bomber, but I've got to be conscious of how powerful that might make it. So, because the missile boat is supposed to be your uber heavy bomber, but I mean the only other advantage the missile boat would have is that it has shields and the slam system. But yeah, I mean, I need to think about that one. That is the wrong mission. Testing ground, yeah. Hello, Lenza. Oh. Not the button I wanted to press. Go away. Right, so switchcraft, a bomber, whatever. So torpedo, 16. Pretty sure that says 12. Yeah, 12. So yeah, there we go. That's working properly now. Cool. Well, let's do this. I'll just do this for now, because I haven't done anything with the capital ships yet. There's not really much point in me using them, but that's what I was hoping to do a bit of today. But I first wanted to demonstrate this. Right, let's... well, we haven't activated the pirate ones, have we? So let's activate the pirate fighter group. Right, so the bomber. Tanky. Punchy. Really slow. We have 20 advanced missiles, which is quite a lot. Let's first use our range and speed. So we have really long range. And he's dead already. Well, too late. I don't have the audio turned on. I don't know when I'm actually getting hit, or I can look at my indicator, but I have taken a couple of hits, and there we go, I'm dead. Probably dead. So yeah, this thing is a truck to fly, but I'm also trying to consider when the AI, not being the most smartest thing in the world, when it does bombing runs on capital ships, it will basically close to laser range and continue to fire. So I want to make them a bit more tankier in some respects, and also have a alter their evasion chances. So while they are tankier, they will also stay on course longer, so they have an opportunity to launch more firepower before they break off, because at the moment it's very easy to make them break off. There we go. Bomber. Nothing too special about the bomber. I just want to make it punchy in terms of what it's supposed to be able to do at range. So it's supposed to be able to lob this laser power outside, or just inside the range of most sort of average capitals. so that you don't have to get so close to it if you don't want to. And it has a pretty decent recharge rate that you can continue to lay on fire and just keep off at standoff range. So yeah. I don't recall, but I spotted that as well, Tony. It looked like it went black, or somehow. I can review the footage afterwards, and when I end the stream, then I will know for sure. Alrighty. Yeah, so there's the 3 fighters for you. I have updated my Miro board with the new numbers. I haven't updated the descriptions, but all the numbers here are now what they should be. Even though I did get a D in math, so I have people hopefully looking at these and going, yeah, that's not right. But this is mostly for my own benefit more than other people's right now. So, but yeah, you can see here, for example, that's the Interceptor's new engine modifications. And the bomber, we've added missile capacity percentages, and then we've added the impact spin. I've added the impact spin, so it's all good now. So yeah, I feel like we're getting to a point where these first 3 ships have a good baseline. Ah, there you go, El Phoenix. Thank you for correcting me on that one. Right, I'm quickly going to show you. So last time I showed you the fleet combat scenario, I haven't really changed that much, except I wanted to make it a bit prettier when because I'm going to be flying about it a lot, and my testers will be flying about it, so I want to make it at least look a little bit pretty. So basically, I've stolen the background of B7M1. So let's see how it looks now. El Phoenix, it's just early stages of me trying to test out different capacities and how we can play with the gameplay of that there. I'm not going to touch generally the higher yield warheads yet, because the rockets and the bombs, as you know, there's it's more practical to use rockets because you can actually have more rockets than you can have space bombs in terms of overall firepower, so why bother using bombs? So obviously I want to make bombs useful again, make bombs actually, you know, hurt a lot. It's particularly as they're unguided, and I want to make it so that the speed damage is really high. I think that'll be a really good one for the bombs, so that you're encouraged to just basically catapult it at an enemy ship to do as much damage as possible. I really like that idea. So you have to scale somehow with the rockets. Yeah, there's something for you. Lenzo, what am I doing? I'm doing a rebalancing of Reimagined. Which ship profiles, the stats or the weapons? Because I suppose that's a redundant question. They're both going to be global. There's going to be a global set of regular stats and weapon stats for each ship. Something which, to this point in the mod, I've not really done. I've not really messed too much with the hit points and weapons of the mod until this point, as much as I've wanted to. I've only used stat profiles in terms of hit points and stuff like that in mission-specific reasons, like I need the hero ship to be a bit tankier in order to tank the firepower that's coming at it. So B8 M5, where Stalwart is surrounded by several capital ships. She's a lot tankier in that mission than she would otherwise normally be, because there's a lot of firepower being thrown at it. Because I have no other way to balance it, other than sort of changing what sort of ships are flying about. But now I can just fine-tune everything. I can make the Stalwart start being a lot more mobile on the battlefield and start actively going around killing the capital ships whilst you deal with the fighters, because if you don't, the Stalwart will still die. But see what I'm trying to aim for there? Let's have a quick look at this fleet battle. Doesn't that look a lot nicer? It's slightly different positional. The sun is normally here over the brightest part, but I've shifted it over here because of the way everyone was. There I am. Oh, I can see the shadow at this distance. I'll have to. Oh, interesting. I wonder what that's about. Blue Max, I'm going to ping you on that one. Anyway. this is in high test mode, so that MC-80 is lobbing all of its firepower at really long range and killing the ISD really quickly. But most of the ships here have, at least the capital ships, have their weapons changed now. I just need to fix the MC-80. But this looks gorgeous. I love it. Get a bit closer. I've also spaced the fleets out a bit more, so there's a lot more room for fighter combat. It's a bit less intense, just shit everywhere. I mean, there's still shit everywhere, but it just feels a little bit more cinematic this way. And you've got a chance to, I guess, kind of MOBA style. You got the lanes of different fighters, and you're trying to push back and forth. But yeah, that's what I've done. So what I am going to do now is start applying some stat changes to the capital ships. Starting with, well, I need them all here really, so let's get them up, shall we? So we've already got the Reef home, put that there, put the Corvette here. I need the Star Destroyer. I should put this over here so I don't have to keep opening it. Nebulon B, modified, and a Lancer. I won't worry about the Rebel fighters just yet. Yeah, Toby, I would want to make some of the capital ship. I mean, some of the bigger battles in Star Wars are obviously, they do actually tend to be quite static in terms of what all the capital ships are doing. And I think that's fairly common for the capital ships. The big ships just kind of sit there and just duke it out. But the smaller ships like Corvettes, particularly, I really want to make them a lot more mobile, because in the classic games, the Corvettes are basically just smaller versions of the big ships. They move really slowly. They're just floating hit point targets. So yeah, I've already kind of pushed this angle with the Raider Corvette, which I really start using heavily from Battle 9 onwards. They are fast. They move as not quite as fast as an assault gunboat, but almost that fast, and they will maneuver and they will attack more like fighters. In some scenarios, and others they will follow a starship pattern, because the ship is kind of the right size that it can perform both roles pretty well. It's like having the assault transports. The assault transports typically used in regular attack orders. They're bigger. But the Corvettes kind of just sit in that middle ground where they work both ways. Whereas if you have a Star Destroyer flying like a fighter, it looks ridiculous. Funny, but ridiculous. Right. So 2 kilometer targeting range. Fire ratio. So yes, I misunderstood what fire ratio percentages were. So it's 236 divided 50. That is 4.72 shots per second currently. And I think when I was under the assumption it was this, I wanted that. So I want to get it close to 5 shots per second. 236 divided by, let's see, 48. 47. Okay. Oh yeah, because that's the fighter one. Idiot. Okay, so that's 5 shots per second. Duration offset, that's fine. Blah 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 blah. Okay. Now I need its default stats, which are here. I'm gonna move this up here. So at the moment, I'm not going to focus too much on speed, I think. And again, because there's the roll pitch, your numbers here do not correspond to what this currently says. This is using raw values. Whereas what is currently here, I'm assuming is either percent or degree values. I am not sure. So I'm waiting for confirmation on what those values are actually representing before I change them. Not that it matters too much for capital ships. But I'm more interested in their overall, right now, hit points. So at the moment, I'm basically just going to straight up add 3 times more hit points to all capital ships of all sizes right now. This will probably change as we change tiers or class or weight, but I want to demonstrate something. of my approach of it's making it harder for certain ships, certain fighters to kill capital ships on their own. So I think I've already done this with the Corvette, or at least I tried it, but then I realised I should do it this way rather than... in fact, we'll start with the Corvette in terms of its default stats, which it does not have in this INI, or INI, however you like to pronounce it. Which means I actually need to get its default stats. We've got stats profiles, but we don't have default stats. I wonder if the XWAU one has stats. Let's have a look. Corvette 2 standard. Yeah, there we go. So let's change that to that. Yes, this is what I changed before. Recharge rate, good. And so speed. I'm gonna give it a speed of 50 for now. Acceleration. I mean, you see how many engines on the back those things have? I would say let's give it a acceleration of 10 for now is good. But it doesn't have quite so many engines on the front, does it? So I'd say much slower deceleration. We'll leave that as it is. Yes, yes, yes. So shield strength is now 1200. Hull strength is now 592. Why 592? Because the game won't divisibly do 600 in the way the raw value. So if I show you here, actually, if I were to, where is it? Let's say hull strength. Here I go. Is, hang on, which one am I on? Okay, I'm on the XWAU. Wrong one. Wrong one. There we go. 192. So if I do 600, it does that. But if I save that and then basically attempt to reopen, oh, it didn't do that at all, did it? It's gone to 9,000. This is also a bit buggy, but basically it would put it to 562, 592 rather. Let's close that before that saves anything. So I've now made this 3 times tankier. What is warhead? One thing I haven't tried yet is torpedo with this stuff. The whole point of me doing this way through the INIs right now, rather than the XE, is because I don't want to make unnecessary changes to the XE directly. I want to minimize us doing that. But I don't think I have control of a INI where I can define a warhead stat. Something we might have to add, I think. But with heavy ordnance right now, at least as far as the torpedoes go, they will scale up in 3 times as damage, along with the 3 times of hit points as well. So you end up applying the same amount of damage with the torpedo, but conversely with concussion missiles, they do very little damage. So yes, the Y-Wing, like the TIE Bomber, will be a punch. It will have a heavy punch to it, but fairly slow rate of fire. Right now it can absolutely murder you if it comes around for attack run with firing its ions and lasers. System strength 50, I think that's fairly standard for... Oh, I pressed the wrong damn thing. Let's try that instead. Look. Corvette. System strength 50. Yeah, fairly standard. I'm going to increase that a little bit. I think I'll scale that up with the hit points, so 3 times as harder to disable a capital ship. Start there. We can modify it from there. We need to remove that. Okay. So what I will do is actually make a change to the XC just for the purposes of this. We're going to change the proton torpedo to do 30,000 power, and the super torpedo, or advanced torpedo, we'll do, really, okay, 45,000 damage, and we'll save. Okay, XC has been modified. Good. Let me just double check what my changes were here. It was not that one, it was this one. 6.4 hit points a second. Does that track? I think it does. Okay. So the recharge rate of the shields, if I calculate it correctly, is going to be 6.4 hit points per second. So something like a TIE fighter can apply double that damage? Just over double, 2.5 times that damage. So yeah, at least a third of that's going to be absorbed by the recharge rate. So you'll actually end up doing like 9 hit points of damage, at least at the base DPS. But in a TIE fighter, you're going to have a Corvette throwing anti-starfighter lasers at you at close range. I mean, not something you really want to be doing, but you can try. Creates a challenge. I'm not making it impossible, at least at the Corvette level, but I want to make it challenging. So let's have a go with that. Let's just make sure I've saved my changes. Yep, that's saved. Save the Lance frigate. So we have that. We have that. All right, let's do it. I guess. I really need a Corvette to engage. This one does have a Corvette, but okay, whatever. Let's just roll with it. I can't remember this Corvette actually shoots you back though. Stick with the torpedo. Actually, no, we wanted to switch craft, don't we? So let's do TIE Fighter. And I'm only going to load a torpedo for the purposes of just getting through the first part of the mission more quickly. Speed up. Okay. Oh, it doesn't have the bloody meshes onto it, so I can't find torpedoes. Whatever. Excuse me. Do that the slow way. Cool. La 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 la. Spinning's a good trick. Right, this may not work as much as I expected to, because I'm pretty sure the Corvette won't fire at you until you attack it. If at all. Yeah, certainly not using its anti-starfighter lasers. I remember that being an issue, but I'll worry about that in a minute. Let's get out of range for a bit. So let's do a strafing run on it. Just imagine this thing is spewing out anti-fighter lasers. So how are we doing? Out. Corvette weapons are fairly, so I've taken 2 shots there. So we got it down by 14%. Let's back off. Trying to anticipate the laser shot at the moment, so I don't get hit by it. Of course, we could get behind. I mean, we do still have that blind spot. I hope. Yep. But we're not actually hitting anything other than the subsystem, so until we destroy that engine, I don't think... and you do have engine wash to worry about as well. But you can see we're having some trouble actually just killing the damn thing, and this is on easy. This thing is barely firing anything at me. So I do actually wonder. I kind of want to know why now. I have so many messages. Three are control waypoints. Ah, you don't actually have an attack orders. Okay, let's change that. Let's make it how it should be. And we'll make it patrol and attack. So there we go. Right, let's try that again. Don't need to restart for a mission change. It's not what I want to fly yet. Switchcraft, TIE Fighter. I can't use it, so whatever. Where are you, container? Here you are. Number 2. Press space. Oh yeah. Forget these are hyper buoys. It wouldn't matter. You can't hyperspace a TIE fighter anyway. It wouldn't let you, even if you tried. Okay. Here comes the Corvette. Let's see. Hopefully, be a little bit meaner towards me this time, but I will try and. Let's see if I can get a run its side profile. Okay, so I can try and avoid its fire. There we go. Let's see how this works. I still don't have an option to hit it yet. You can see how fast it's moving now at 50. And it's still not doing it. Okay, fuck you. Right, let's see if we can fix this. I want to fix it. That is reimagined. Mission file. Good. Oh, hang on. Oh no, that was me looking at the other file before. Let's make sure I didn't make any accidental changes to the wrong thing. No. That was... okay, fine. Good. Weapon 281. You are definitely are 281, right? Yep, 281, 288. Saved, okay. If this doesn't work, I'm not going to waste too much time on it today. Let's figure it out later. I'm just trying to make a point. Yep, everything will have to be rebalanced if this works out. I made a new nightmare for myself. But what can I say? I've wanted this level of control of the engine for so long, for years, even before I released TFTC. I really wanted this level of control. So now I have it, more or less. Still not firing at me. I feel like something is... Oh, that's better. Kinda. It's only firing one turret at me. Ah, I wonder if that's a model thing. Did I not... What's wrong? Or maybe I'm just bullshitting. Let's find out. Maybe I'm wrong then. Corvette 2 TFTC. Yeah, 281, 281, 281. Okay. I don't know then. I'm going to replace it with a Lancer frigate. And we'll just say it's always here, so I don't have to go through that malarkey again. Lancer. Where art thou? There you are. Let's see if that works. Well, gamer, you can actually play the classic version all the way through if you so wish. That is the original game, as close as we could emulate it to the X-Wing Alliance engine. There are still some little differences here and there, but that's just a result of limitations more than anything else. I feel like it's not using the right... What's wrong with you? No. One BO3T BR. Yeah. So it's definitely doing it. So what did I miss? Ah. Wait. Whatever. 1 second. There you are. Right. Let's see if this works any better. Oh, yes, it does work better. Right. So this is TIE Bomber. there is a degree of spread to the Lancer frigate at range. So we got some leeway, but let's look at my hull. Oh, I've run out of laser power. Let's back away. Back away. Right. I just realised I didn't adjust the recharge rate of the Lancer, but we'll worry about that in a minute. Let's try again. Probably could afford to be a bit more accurate. Should be dead by now. There we go. Nope, still green. How am I still green? Come on, hit me. I should be dead now. You are red, right? No, I'm yellow. What the hell? Okay, I need to look at that. Funny. Let's have a look. Lancer. Well, yeah, 1 hit point of damage, no wonder. This at the time was just me testing the speed and the point defense capability, not the power. But now I'm considering how this is going to affect things. TIE bomber has... So you take 33 shots to kill a TIE bomber with this right now. So let's up the power. Let's make it 300 for now, I think. Oh no, let's say 200 for now, and oh, sorry, 250 is what I meant. 2.5, and we'll reduce the degree of spread to 70. No, 75, just a little bit. And also, let's quickly do the recharge rate while we're here. Did Lancer already have recharge? It does not. Okay. So it's got a bit more tankier shield. I would say this is a bit more of a modern kind of warship. So that'll be 50% faster, I think. Okay, let's try that anyway and see what happens. It's not that the bomber's too strong, it's that the Lancer's too weak. The bomber needs to be strong against capitals. Okay, let's see how much punishment I'm in for now. Let's get within range. This for now. Because I think the recharge rate might need some adjustments to it. Okay, so we're already hitting weapons range. I think probably need to tone that down a little bit. Okay, so we've now achieved a lock range. It's probably a little actually higher than that because of the speed. Okay, so now we're getting too close to it, perhaps. Yeah, because it's hitting us way more now. So it's basically like a flak field in a way. If only it could actually do a bit more flak. So let's see how quickly it recharges. Me coming around. So it would be very hard, even for me in a bomber, to kill this. You would need to be in a shielded craft to really be able to take this down. But let's try this in the TIE fighter, given the TIE fighter's limited range compared to the bomber, and see how well we fare. Try and come in at a bit more of a oblique angle. Remember, this ship is meant to be the top tier anti-starfighter platform. Not even in range to hit it yet, and I'm having to kind of. There we go. Got a green hit now. Can we just keep weaving? I mean, this is yellow. Okay, breaking off. I kind of scratched its shield a little. So there you go. Hopefully that has demonstrated why you would much be better off fighting this thing in a TIE bomber with your lasers and a TIE interceptor, TIE fighter. Let's just for good measure, let's see how the interceptor fares. Single shot. Try and get much fire as possible. Again, I don't quite have the range of the bomber, but it is better than a TIE fighter. So let's. Now, if you think about how you currently fight capital ships in either XWA or TFTC, see, we did a bit of a damage there because the TIE interceptor has a good punch to it, but it's too fragile to really tank the power. So whilst I could probably do this for a couple of passes, or just take my time, I mean, I could just hit it at range and come back, hit it at range, come back, but in theory the regen would be too much to overcome. So I might increase the bomber's range a bit more still, we'll see. But yeah, I'm dead at this point. But yeah, think about how vanilla capital ships are in fighters. They're not that scary. They're very easy to engage. This has, the closer you get to it, the more deadly it is. You know, you can kind of sort of weave in and out for a little bit, and then it starts to hit you, and hit you a bit more, and then hit you a bit more. And it has to be fairly low damage because the sheer rate of fire of this thing. So yeah. Good demonstration, I think. Yes, I am very bad at this game. Right, so we've done that. Right, let's look at the MC-80. And completely... yeah, so the targeting ranges here are currently insane. For good reason. Let's reduce this down. Oh god, 6 times by 3 is 196, so yes. So 230. Thereabout, or 229. Oh, that's the heavy turbolizer, isn't it? That one. There's this one. 3.5. 6 kilometer range. 6.36 times 6 is 393. Let's say 393. Let's see if this works. Fire ratio 400. Let's see what that works out to. 236. 500. 0.59 shots per second. So not quite 2 shots. Sorry, 1 shot every 2 seconds. I think that's a good ratio though. If I have 2 seconds, let's have a look. 472. It's 2 shots a second. I think we'll keep this to 236. That's 1 shot per second. And ion cannons, they can be a little bit higher, I guess, but to what degree? So, you know. $315. I meant that the other way around, didn't I? 1 shot every 2 seconds. And that's 1 shot per second. And this will be... I'll work for now. Power. Yeah, that's too much for this, I think. When at medium turbo lasers. No, that's fine. No, that's fine. That's fine. So now we just need to fix the ISDs. Insane range as well. I'll comment it later. Fire ratio. How rate of fire of super heavy turbo laser, but considering these things are going to be more powerful. 785. And I'm gonna leave that like that for now. Yeah, let's put that to that. You can also share that ratio. Let's have a look. So you have a bit more powerful ion cannons. Speeds are all pretty much the same, except for the big guns. We can worry about how efficiently that looks at another time. Power 2000. So yes, yeah. So the ISD has a lot more power. I need to move its shield regens a little. Oh my god, this is a massive innie. Okay. Let's make sure use generator. Okay, so it is only there. Fine, that's good. Let's bump this all the way back up to home. Oh my god. Right. So I don't need all those comments here. Per generator recharge, yes. So I need to figure that out. Also, we need to boost the stats. Stats profile default. Move you back up here. The only reason I'm shifting these up here is so I can just all work with it in one nice easy area. So I've got some comments. Callback start working? No, not quite. Revision control. Ah, well, I just started using GitHub. So, first time. So now I have revision control. at the moment I'm sort of playing with numbers, but when I start committing things to testing, I'm actually using GitHub to do it now. First time. Assuming that's what you mean anyway. Okay, does this match with my default stats of the ISD? I don't, as I said, I didn't change many of the... So, 4800, 2272, yeah, more or less. Okay. Let's give it 6900. And we'll put it up to 300. Has generator, yes. Yeah, I was going to say, per shield generator. So, per active shield generator that is on the ship that you can destroy the subsystem will apply this level of recharge. So, yeah. I'm going to put that to... I think I'd set it to 75 on the ISD2 when I was testing it. Where are you? Okay, I set it to 30. Fine. I'm going to set it to 50 for now. And for the sake of balance, I'm just going to do this the same for the MC80. Seems I've already done that for the MC80, so it looks like I had the same idea. Lovely. These can be fine-tuned later. I think the ISD should be better at it, but I'm just messing with some stuff for now. So, got your stats. Lovely. What about your stats? Oh yeah, I need to comment out the... Did I do it for that one as well? Stats. Okay. We'll say 12,000. Say 6,000. Say 40. Will not change the speed. Alright. That's you two done. And the frigates. Do not have shield as generator. Okay, you don't. Fine. Well, let's take your stats at least. Put them up there. Comment. So, I don't think the frigates actually have separate shield generators. I don't recall. So we won't use that for now. But we'll say... What do we give the Corvette? 20. So as it's not per generator, the recharge rate, even if I gave it 50, would not be anywhere as good as a, it would just be 50, whereas the Star Destroyer has 2 shield generators, so it would do 50 per generator. So let's give it 40 for now. I'll make the mod frigate a bit higher. Mod frigate. I'll give that 50 for now. Okay, that's 3, 2, 0. Say 1400. System strength 180. Cool. Already done that. So default stats. So this should be the last one to do, and then we can have a look and see how things play out. Where are you? Oh, that's easy to calculate. 2400, 1200. How much tankier does that make you? Not as tankier. That doesn't make sense. Because that's right. Because I know I changed this for the modified frigate, but the default stats I don't think are reflecting what it actually is. Nope, didn't think so. 1408. So let's say 4200. That's a lot tankier. But that's fine because the modified frigate is a bulkier ship. It's got more armor. It's got more mass to it. What was the hull strength? 640. Okay. 20. 50, 110, 165. Yeah. Okay. I did mess with these. I think I was fairly happy with them for now. I made the modified frigate punchier, that's for sure. Okay. Let's try that. Go away. You get some actual gameplay now. Yeah, fleet rebalance scenario. Right. I'm just going to fly around, but I'm going to fly around in a TIE Defender for now. I just want to fly around and see what's going on. Good, so you definitely have the range to fire. 7 kilometers away. And now we've got the return fire from the MC-80, so at this range, should be fairly ineffective. Let's get such friendly, we'll get enemy. I should really unknown all these. I'm going to do that right now because it makes it easier for me to understand what's going on. You don't have any special statuses. Good. So, identified. Save. Yes. Reload. Hello, Corn Julio Bolio. Yes. Alright. Enemy craft list, friendly craft list, that'll do. So, there we go, got our return fire. Does anything hit? You get a few shots hit, so you get implacable down to 98% shield. Lulsler, also 98. Now we've got ion cannons and the Lulsler's longer range cannons aiming for me. Yeah, see the Corvette is not firing rapid lasers at me, but it is firing rapid lasers at point defense, as in point defense duty. So I don't understand quite what's happening there. Maybe I'll have to ask B-Man about that one. Let's have a look. So we made the Lancers a little bit more powerful, didn't we? And their spread was a little less. So yeah, the big ships, they're fine. Implacable's going down a bit faster. Could be the MC-80s being a bit more accurate. We've already lost one Corvette. Got 2 Corvettes down now. Yeah, 2 Corvettes down. Meanwhile, Imperial ships are completely fine. What's the Yeah, it definitely feels like the rebels are getting wasted here. But as I said, I haven't balanced the fighters yet, the rebel fighters. So once I do that, this should shift the dynamic back again into something a bit more fair. The idea here is to hopefully get something that's a bit more evenly back and forth. I might swap the corvettes for something a little bit more, like a Corellian gunship, for example. But yeah, this looks gorgeous to watch, though. It's worth trying to increase torpedo spammage in some respects, but yeah, I know that's probably not what you want to hear, but I don't have control at the moment, direct control over how many torpedoes are launched at any one target. All we can do is set it to match what the classic is, or what the default is for Reimagined, or for X-Wing Alliance. But I would like to adjust it a little. But yeah, you can see that it is the big guns firing from their turrets for the long-range stuff. Very cinematic. What do I use to steer? This is a X52 joystick. I've got a throttle here as well, which I'm not really using. And the cable just came out. So yeah, it's a PS2 cable. Connects the throttle and the joystick together. It's a little ancient, this, and the bottom trigger is broken. The spring broke at some point. Also, the handle bit here is all screwed up. But it's served me well over the last 12 or so years I've had it. I can't even remember where I bought it now. It's had most use in this game, obviously, but I've played quite a few other games where a flight stick is required as well, So I think we can conclude so far that the rebels are trash in terms of their ability to fight back. But at least you can see how the Corvette is actually firing when it's got its actual normal lasers firing, so you've got a better idea there. If you're trying to attack a TIE fighter... Sorry, if you're using a TIE fighter or anything and come up against that, firing like that, yeah. Definitely increases the cinematic feel and vibe of a battle. I love watching the long-range exchange of fire between the destroyer and the cruiser. You know, they're not doing much to each other, but it's just like they're doing it for effect. It just looks cool. But if these two ships were to close the distance considerably, then they'd start doing real damage to each other, and then at point-blank range, the destroyer will win. So at no point are any of these torpedoes getting through for the other side. I'm going to change something quickly and have a look at... Let's give them advanced torpedoes. Save it, right, okay. See if that helps them get through the Lancer defense. Yeah, upgrading to something a little bit more modern and beefy is something I'd love to do, but I've literally just spent all my savings on this new computer. It's like 3,600 euros worth of money, all my savings on this. I've wanted a new computer for so long. My old computer is as old as this joystick. So, yeah. I'm now finally on a modern beast of a machine. Paid dearly for it, but by God, it's great. So it's really helped me, not only for modding, but for video editing and all that jazz. And let's speed this up a bit. Okay, I'm back at a TIE fighter, aren't I? There's something almost hauntingly beautiful looking at it like this with the gentle Stellaris music in the background. Let's have a look at it from this side. speed things up a bit. I think the bombers are just dying too quickly. It's another problem. The fact that the rebel screening is just pathetic. I mean, to be fair, the corvette is not supposed to be anywhere near as good as a Lancer frigate. This is why I'm saying maybe I should use a gunship or something else like that. But it looks like not even an advanced torpedo can get through right now. But like you see the TIE fighters Gatling canning away. Yeah, I need to work on the fighters next and maybe change what's being used here as point defense, or maybe just add like a couple more corvettes. So basically 6 corvettes versus 3 Lancer frigates. That might even the field a little bit. Oh, we've got a bunch of bombers here. Let's follow the bombers. Speed up. Yeah, so I'd say maybe the Lancers are even too effective here. I don't know. Like I said, we need to balance the fighters, I think. And then try this scenario again. Once everything has been balanced, at least to my satisfaction, I will then give the testers this mission and the other mission and these ships to test as a scenario. And then we'll start tweaking things and see how it goes. And then once that's ready, I might allow the public to test this as well, so I can get more feedback, because before I go all the way in throwing myself at completely rebalancing it, if I can get something like that demonstrates what we're trying to achieve here with this and the other scenario, and then gain some feedback out of that, then I can truly gauge, I think, if this will work out or not. I think it will, but your feedback is important to me. It really is. I can't do this without proper feedback and criticism. So, lay it on me. Hello, Brian from Reykjavik, Iceland. I may one day visit your country this year for work purposes, because one of our customers is in Iceland. Also, I intend to visit the CCP monument, Eve monument, because my characters are on that monument. Hopefully they're still eligible, so I can take a picture of myself with a very, very tiny inscription of Angie 1. Yes, because Angel was already taken, I typically replace the L with a 1, you know, Angel, but I just got consistently called Angie 1 or Angie, so there you go. It's like morning angle. There's a fix for what? Oh, right, okay, yes. Yes, that mission is bugged. That was my fault. I don't know why that ship went to Invincible, but it got flagged as Invincible, so you couldn't kill it. And, yeah, there's a quick fix for that. It is available. How is the TIE Avenger going to be balanced? Do you want to define role? I haven't given it too much thought yet. I was discussing this today with the beta testers, and my initial idea is just basically to make the advanced a better interceptor. So it's faster, more shields, still pretty fragile. I am not sure how I'm going to apply what kind of power, because it has a large missile bay, so it might be that I don't want to give it as much power behind its lasers as an interceptor does, because also there's the beam weapon as well, and I need to factor in the beam weapon and also shields. There are some limitations at the moment on what I can do with shield and beam recharge. Shield recharge I cannot modify in terms of how fast it recharges or discharges. Same with the beam weapon. I've been told that the shield recharge is actually a lot more complicated, but the beam recharge should be possible. I can't remember if it's actually been done yet or not, but yeah, the shield recharge is an issue that I hope maybe will be resolved. If not, I'm just going to have to work around it. But I can control the amount of energy transferred between weapons and shields. So that mechanic I can at least play with. So it could be for the TIE Advanced. It has an ability, despite its fragility, dump all its weapons into shields in one go. That's it. You lose all your firepower, but you get a massive boost of shields. swapping it back to lasers is not going to be so easy. At least I hope I can control it that way. I don't want you to be able to throw it back and forth at a switch. There has to be a cost, a consequence for you doing that. So yeah, a better interceptor, but playing more with the mechanics of the shields and the beam weapon. The beam weapon I really want to make more relevant, which means if I can control the percentage of engine speed change per level, I can make it negligible. So there'd be really no point in you rediverting your beam weapon power into engines. But instead we'll encourage you to use the beam weapon as you like. That's what I really want to do. Can I ban people who call it TIE Avenger? No. And it's nice to meet you too, Brian. Thank you very much. It's much appreciated. Moin, Niklas. Yeah, the audio stuff, there's a few bits and pieces of the audio that's needs redoing. I've noticed that actually some of the engine sounds are actually lower pitched than they used to be. I don't know why. It's a very minor thing in my radar right now. But things like weapon sounds, engine sounds, everything can be customized to each ship. So we can really play around with it. I'm also considering audio spam as a potential problem, because some weapons are going to be firing more rapidly and there might be more going on. I'm rather conscious of audio spam potentially being an issue, so I'm not sure how that can be mitigated with the current toolset we have available, other than just lowering the volume individually within the game. It's not with you lowering the volume, but rather us modifying how loud a sound effect is. So I think of StarCraft 1 and 2 as a good example of controlling audio spam. If you think about StarCraft 2 and its audio design, it's really good. When you've got your big death ball of units, it's a fairly seamless cacophony of death. But when you play StarCraft 1, it's basically audio cancer at that point. When you manage to have enough control groups to have a death ball anyway, I think the Mutalisk is a really good example of just how deafeningly awful the overlapping sounds of the Mutalisks firing and then you get everything else. It's just horrible. So yeah, audio spam is an issue. I just thought about hyperspace speeds. If you remember last year, I showed a brief video of basically almost movie realistic hyperspace entry. There is a problem with this, and that's basically it rubber bands, and that's because the game is trying to calculate and force it into a certain position, so it arrives always here. Always arrives here. But in order to do that, the game is trying to, at the very last frame, sometimes the ship might just go a bit too much forward and then get pulled back, or be a bit too far back and get pulled forward. Doesn't happen all the time. It's inconsistent. I hate it. It's just one frame, but it bothers me, and I know it will bother other people, so that's why I have not used fast hyperspace yet. But we can turn the precision forcing off, so basically the ships will arrive. So if I have a ships in line and they arrive like this, that's how the game would normally treat it. They will all arrive precisely at the point you tell it to. With this fast hyperspace hook, you end up something like this. Each time it will be slightly different, but obviously this at the moment will change the timings or the distance of things. A lot of things rely on a bit of timing for you to get from point A to point E to point C, so you're in range to fire. So it would require restructuring missions a little. So I didn't bother, because that would be a lot of work for what was essentially a little flare. That's it. Because I'm going to have to restructure a lot of missions for this rebalancing, I'm now thinking that I will do that. And it also adds a little bit, just makes it a little bit more dynamic looking, that the ships don't always arrive in a straight line. They arrive a little bit more out of formation and then attack, or a little bit. So... oh wow, it's quite late. I really need to stop the stream, unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't realise it's quite late, so I've got to stop. Let me have a look at... okay, it sounds like my wife is still playing Team Fortress 2. I don't know if you heard that little scream in the background. But yeah, it's still 11:30 in the evening here. I do unfortunately have work tomorrow. I hope so too. It's probably only going to be like a couple of day trip, but yeah. If and when it happens, yeah, it should be. I've always wanted to visit. I've always, just basically from playing Eve, I always wanted to go there. I even applied for a job as a GM for Eve once. I even customized my CV so it looked like my bio, my profile in game. Didn't get a job, whatever, but I always liked the idea that you don't have to make a CV just like boring. You can just tailor it to get the right anyway. But anyway. Heated pools. Well, I live in Finland, so sauna, things like that. I'm familiar with the cold weather environment at this point. Tape a burger to my mic. Depends on the type of burger. Perkele. Ai vittu. That's my favourite one. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me. It's nice to see I still have a fairly consistent number of people watching. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. Hopefully you've been interested in what I've been trying to do and show. Very much welcome your feedback, your suggestions. Please tell me in Discord. Always open to listening to the community feedback and engaging with you. It's one of my favourite things to do. So yeah, thank you very much. Have a good evening, have a good morning, wherever you are in the world, and fly safe and live long and prosper, yes.